Hi folks, my name is Danny. Welcome to Danny's Corner. In today's video, I want to talk about cerebral palsy. As I said, I make these videos not only about blindness, but also to educate you on my different disabilities and how you can interact with people with me who have different disabilities and how these disabilities affect me overall. And so today I also want to bring in nutrition, as that's a very important subject when it comes to people with CP. As I have said before, not all people with CP have the same needs, and not all of them require the same kind of help. Each of us is an individual, and therefore we require different things. So what I mean is, what may work for some may not work for others. It just depends. So how does nutrition affect me, and what does this have to do with spasticity? As I have talked in other videos, some people have used the slang or slur spaz when it comes to songs and things like that, which is not good, and it brings people down. But what spasticity is, in simple terms, is the stiffness of muscles. There is a really hard time controlling them, and you have to make an effort to make things to help yourself, let's say walk or anything like that. And so you have muscle relaxers that can help you out. I don't need them, or I don't use them a lot, so I don't know much about them. And obviously, overusing things like these can definitely cause some side effects. But anyway, what does this have to do with food? So for me, being a person with CP, and not everybody is like me. Some people with CP eat less, some people eat more. So it just depends. With me, I eat a lot. Now, does that mean that I take advantage of that? Meaning, do I eat a lot every time that I have a meal? No. But do I sometimes engage in eating a lot? And what I mean by that is, do I get stuffed? And there's a difference. So let me try to explain as best as I can. Usually, for me to get a satisfied meal, I would have to eat. Let me give you a range here. When it comes to tacos, for example, which I had yesterday, they were delicious. I would have to eat about 6 or 7 of those to be satisfied. That's just me. Now, if I want to get stuffed, which is again another thing, I would say more like 9 or 10. And that also depends, because if I were to have something else, those quantities would change. For example, tortillas with, let's say, meat and beans and rice and eggs. I would be happy with 4 regular tortillas, either flour and or corn. Again, I am from a Latin American background, so that would be more than enough for me, and I could still have enough for a piece of cake or another type of dessert, and that would usually do it, with a drink on the side. But I also place the nutrition thing into categories, because to me, whenever I eat tacos or burritos, for let's say, they usually have what I consider soft items, anything from cream to beans to rice to onion, cilantro. All of these things for me are soft, so they're not going to get me full, as opposed to, let's say, when there's a lot of meat, when there's a lot of starch like potatoes, bacon has a lot of grease. So do you see the difference there where my body, my metabolism doesn't work the same way that yours does? So I can put away much more food than a person who does not have my disability. And so a lot of people say, or some people may say, well, are you sick? Or you are going to get sick if you eat a lot. Some people may criticize me, like with different things. And it's hard explaining to someone my nutritional needs or my eating habits. So I just say I eat a lot. And that is true. And it's not only because of my disability, but I believe that part of the reason why people eat a lot and some don't is based on genetics. And so that plays a big part. And I understand that not everybody is going to be satisfied with this thing, right, with my explanation. But it is what it is. And I believe that before judging a person on their eating habits and how much they eat or what they eat, I think it's more important for you to have a dialogue with that person, get to understand them, because you might just have a different perspective and coming from a place where it can be a good place, but definitely you can turn that person off, and that person may not want to eat with you because you're going to criticize him or her. The last thing that I want to focus on when it comes to eating and CP is that sometimes we may use different utensils depending on the severity of CP. So for example, in my case, I like forks and I like them with long handles. Spoons are okay. It's just a matter of what I'm eating. Because of my CP, I tend to eat a lot with my hands, and that's what I'm comfortable with. I understand that in certain cultures that's not acceptable. But remember, we were not asked to be born this way. This is the way that we were born, and we have to just manage our disabilities, and we all have to eat. So if I eat a lot with my hands and there's a person that doesn't like it, then too bad. I'll just go somewhere else where I can eat in peace without disturbing that person's religious or spiritual or any other type of belief that they may have. I certainly don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but I also realize that my safety, my peace is important, because if I were to eat with a spoon, when I know that I feel more comfortable eating a certain food with my hands, what do you think is going to happen if I were to eat it with a spoon or with a fork? I would drop it, and then people would make fun of me, and then I would have to wash my clothes, and it's just not worth it. And so again, I think respect for the other person is key. Listening to the other person is key, and great communication. The other thing that I do is instead of using paper plates, not that I don't, but I prefer to use plates with that have some sort of not quite bowls, but they're not flat plates. If you know what, I don't know how to describe this. But they're in between plates and bowls, to where the edges aren't as where there's a little bit of this is where I have a hard time describing things. I just don't want for food to get out of the plate as I am trying to search it with the fork. And this is the reason why I eat with my hands, because I know that if I were to eat with the fork, which I usually do, but I also know that there are certain plates that I'm not going to be able to do that with, or there are certain items that I'm not going to be able to eat with the fork because they're a bit messy, or eat with the spoon because they're a bit messy. So I will use my hands. And again, it just depends. Usually when I'm with friends and or family going out, I'll usually get a burger, or I usually get something that I can eat with my hands, and there'll be no problem with that. I also take care of having some wet wipes in case I'm not close to a bathroom, just because, again, I use my hands for 90 to 95% of the time. So I make sure that they are clean. And yeah. What else can I tell you? That's about it. I don't think I have anything else. But, I will always keep on making these type of videos if I remember something or whatnot. And I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope that this can bring a little bit more clarity to how some people who have CP eat and how they enjoy certain things. Oh, one last thing. Because I am totally blind and have CP, one of the struggles that I have is bringing food to my mouth. And so I know that I have received, perhaps silently more than out loud, my fair share of criticism. Why is my mouth so close to the plate or to the bowl? There's a reason for that. Again, I know that because of my CP, I will have this tendency for my hand to shake involuntarily. I use my left hand, by the way. My right was the side that was affected a lot. And so I use my left hand for everything. And so when I bring something to my mouth, such as a food item or a drink, again, I use my left. And the bowl or the plate is, I try to keep it, my mouth, I wouldn't tell you like how many inches, but somewhere close to where I know that I'm not going to drop the food as I bring it to my mouth, if that makes any sense. But I'm not going to sit all the way straight up like most people would and bring the food all the way up, because I know that even with my left hand, it has a tendency to shake. And there's no way for me to prevent that. So I know what I'm doing. I'm fully aware of what I do, why I do, and I'm also fully aware of other people seeing me eat because they're in front of me or they're beside me. And to be honest with you, I just stopped caring. People are going to believe whatever they're going to believe, and their thoughts on how I eat or why I eat or anything like that is their opinion. I respect it. I will disagree, and if they're willing to have a dialogue to let me educate them, I will. But if not, then there's nothing I can do about it. And this includes my own family. Because to end with this video, let me tell you that just because you have family, and let's say you may be the only person with a disability, they might be your family, but that doesn't mean that they will always understand you, or that doesn't mean that just because you're their family member, or blood related, whatnot, doesn't mean that they automatically are going to, have this compassion or mercy or be kind to you. I think that's one of the biggest myths out there. You have to educate them the same way that you have to educate strangers. And they may be hard with you just as strangers are. And so there's a lot of conflict when it comes to these type of things, educating people in general, especially your family. This is it for now. If you have enjoyed this video and would like more content like this, I have plenty of other videos that you can watch when it comes to CP or blindness. And I'll keep making these videos as well. Make sure to subscribe, share, like, leave a suggestion and or comment. I would like to hear that. And I will catch you next time. Bye.